Giant mechanical hand grabs human body. There were still living people struggling inside, but everyone was thrown straight into the incinerator because they were infected with a new virus. A deadly virus hits Bundang, Korea. The virus is spreading rapidly through the city. But what's even scarier is humanity, and the source of the virus came from a container. Inside was a group of people smuggled in from Vietnam. When the brothers came to pick them up, they were shocked by what they saw. The whole compartment was dead. The two brothers were terrified. They rushed to record on their mobile phones. The man's leg was grabbed by a man. Only this man survived. He asks the brothers for help, but the brother puts his mask on backwards. But it would have spelled disaster for the nation. The two men tried to complete their mission. They took the stowaway into the van, but while waiting at a red light, the stowaway jumps out of the van, and the brother finds himself sick. While at the pharmacy, the brother kept coughing. The virus droplets are caught in the air and begin to spread. The first infected people appear. Gradually, the virus spreads. On the bus, in the school, and even in the kindergarten, more and more people were infected. Then the man started vomiting blood. He was quickly taken to hospital. After the doctor examined him, she tentatively decided it was the swine flu virus that was prevalent in Southeast Asia, and how this virus could have spread to humans. They had to do more research. That's when Dr. Kim found a video on the man's phone. They decided the source of the infection was this container. Soon the police found the container and burned it, and Dr. Kim found the footprints of a third person, so she deduced that the survivor had escaped. This person may have developed antibodies to survive. Finding him would lead to the development of a vaccine. However, the survivor had arrived near Dr. Kim's home. He saw that Dr. Kim's daughter was in danger, so he saved the girl, but he also put the little girl in danger. The number of patients in the hospital grew. The professor discovered that it was a new mutated virus. It's spreading faster than expected. He suggested that the city be sealed off and quarantined, otherwise the whole city will be destroyed. But a councilman doesn't care. He questioned why he should be afraid of the new virus, and he soon found out why. Suddenly there was a loud bang outside. Everyone gathers at the window. Traffic is brought to a standstill as cars scream out of control. The gas station was blown up by the vehicles that had stormed in. The city was in chaos, but the disaster has only just begun. A new virus has broken out. The virus spreads rapidly through the city. All hospital wards are full. The number of people infected increases rapidly. Even doctors are infected with the virus. Traffic comes to a standstill. Fear gripped the city. Officials realized the seriousness of the situation. They immediately sealed off the city, while they themselves fled in a helicopter. As soon as the outbreak became public, people were in a panic. They all rushed to the supermarkets to grab supplies. The government deployed armed forces to suppress the situation. To prevent the virus from catching, the government ordered a centralized quarantine. The military forcibly removed all the residents. Anyone who resisted would have a gun put to his head. He had to obey, and Dr. King tried to leave the city on a special plane with his daughter. The daughter suddenly coughs at security. The security officers stops them both. Dr. King was confused because the little girl was suffering from a cold, so the mother and daughter were stopped. They were then taken to a quarantine area. Everyone had to take off their clothes to check for infection. While Dr. Kim was tying her daughter's hair, she noticed red spots on her body. This was a symptom of the virus. The mother was scared. She couldn't let her daughter go to the infected area, so she chose to keep it a secret. At this point, someone refused to enter the isolation area. The staff immediately stopped them. Dr. Kim then dragged her daughter inside, but a man saw the scene. He was a firefighter. Ji-goo. He met Dr. Kim while on duty, and he fell in love with Dr. Kim. He advised Dr. Kim not to hide it and report it properly. The little girl could have been treated sooner, but Dr. Kim knew there was no cure. Her daughter was in quarantine and had to wait for death. Dr. Kim is devastated. Ji-goo didn't want to break up the mother and daughter, so he chose to remain silent. Soon the girl's condition became worse and worse. The red spots had spread all over her body. Her condition was becoming more and more critical. Luckily, the survivor from the container was found. Forehead, though, was infected with the virus, but he's still alive after all these days. That means he already has antibodies in his system. Now they just need to extract the serum from his body and then be able to develop a vaccine. But the little girl was in a bad way. Dr. Kim decided to take a risk. First, she sent her colleagues away. She wanted to give her daughter the serum, but no sooner had they left the tent, the surveillance team came by. They called out the girl's number. They already knew that the girl was infected. The surveillance team asked who was number 2966 so that the little girl could be injected with the serum. Ji-goo decided to help her. He posed as the girl's number and was put in quarantine. President finds uninfected person not released after 48 hours in quarantine. The American expert said the virus was spreading rapidly, so the people inside have to remain in quarantine. The Prime Minister is prepared to sacrifice these people to ensure the safety of the nation's citizens. The president was saddened to feel that these citizens were being abandoned. However, the uninfected are already protesting because the rule is that all uninfected people will be released after 48 hours, but no one has been released. A Officials are organising their contact with the outside world. A major riot is about to break out. In the lab, Dr. Kim is injecting her daughter with the serum. There's a violent knock on the door, followed by a crash. As Dr. Kim injects the last one, the door slams open. They were trying to take the girl by force. Dr. Kim was shot with a tranquilizer gun as she resisted. She could only watch as her daughter was taken away. Ji-goo had just been released from the infected area. He saw a stretcher being pushed through. After seeing the hairpin on the ground, he knew the person on the stretcher was the little girl. Ji-goo chased after her. When he reached a car park, he was shocked by the scene before him. All the infected people had been dumped here. The staff were loading the bodies onto the trucks. Ji-goo noticed that someone was still moving. He rushed to ask the staff, "Is this person still alive?" But the staff said he was going to die. The staff also said that the place was full. From today onwards, they're all being sent upstairs. Ji-goo realized that there was no infected area and there was no treatment. Ji-goo started to panic. He ran upstairs and called out the girl's name. When he got to the top, he was completely shocked. The giant robotic hand threw the body into the incinerator. All the infected were disposed of in this way. Then Ji-goo jumped down to look for the little girl, but the bodies are all wrapped up. It was very difficult, but then Ji-goo heard the phone ring. He rushed over and opened the body. The girl was lying inside. He ripped open the bag and found the girl still breathing. That's when the staff found him. Together, they pinned down on the other side. Dr. Kim woke up and grabbed the serum antibodies. She asked the paramedics to tell her daughter where she was. When Dr. Kim found out where her daughter was, she dropped the serum and ran to the infected area. That's when a soldier finds out that his mother is in the infected area. He felt very sad. He took off his mask and went to hug his mother. Mother and son cried together. A large group of soldiers gathered around. The soldier confronts them and tells the truth. There was no cure. The government had already given up on them. The smoke outside was burning all the infected people. Then the soldiers were shot and killed. The crowd instantly rioted and broke through the walls. The people already knew the truth. They saw Ji-goo still struggling. The angry people immediately rushed forward. The staff were scared away. Then Khan used his walkie-talkie to contact Dr. Kim. She was surprised to learn that her daughter was still alive. Dr. Kim was surprised. She was about to meet up with Ji-goo when suddenly a car pulled up in front of her. It turned out to be the medical team preparing to leave. Her colleagues came down to persuade Dr. Kim to leave with them, but the thugs spotted them. The mob rushed towards the doctors with their weapons. The doctors rushed to the car, but it was too late. The car was stopped by the mob and the door was open. Dr. Kim's walkie-talkie falls out. The survivor immediately rushed out of the car to pick it up, but a violent man saw him. He stabbed the survivor several times. The only antibody was stabbed several times. Soldiers quickly shot and killed the man. The survivor was rescued from the car, but he was already dead because the antibodies were gone and the rioters had broken through the lines. The prime minister gave the order to shoot. The officers immediately relayed the order. The soldiers quickly got ready. Then the chief ordered them to aim at the target. The soldiers aimed their guns at the people. Just then, Dr. Kim learned that her daughter's condition had improved. Her fever had gone down. She then connected with the president through her professor. She said her daughter had survived and developed antibodies. The president ordered the disarming and opening of the defenses, but this was rejected by the American representative. He thought the information was untrue. He then gave orders to the commanders on the scene. Whoever crossed the yellow cordon was to be shot immediately. Dr. Kim rushes out of the barracks. She signaled to everyone not to advance, and the little girl was pushed forward by the crowd. When she saw her mother ahead, the little girl cried out and ran towards her mother. Seeing the little girl running out, Ji-goo was right behind her. The little girl was about to cross the yellow line. The officers gave the order to shoot, but the soldier didn't want to shoot the child. The officers threatened the soldier and ordered him to shoot. The soldier had to close his eyes and pull the trigger. Dr. Kim put his arms out in front of his daughter. The little girl saw her mother hurt. She also stood in front of her mother. She cried out and begged the soldier not to hit her mother. This made the crowd even more furious. They rushed forward to protect the mother and daughter. The American representative immediately sent in a bomber. He was ready to bomb the whole city in order to save his own people. The president blatantly disobeyed the American order. He contacted the Capitol Defense Command. He told them to prepare missiles. As soon as the bombers move, he fires the missiles.
Confirm shelling location. Confirm shelling location. Snyder, shelling ready. Confirm target. Please issue launch order. President, fighter jets are in missile range.
President's attitude of defending his countrymen to the death. The American side finally gave in. The president also announced the cancellation of all repression plans. The country will not abandon its citizens under any circumstances, and the little girl saved the whole of Korea as the new antibody.